Hello, good evening. This is Evening in Cameroon. My name is Maria Banga. I'm a psychotherapist, person with a lived experience of mental health. I live with post-traumatic stress disorder. Every other woman, and this particular channel is for relationships. And I'll be talking about mine too, and my reflections on relationships in general, because I'm specialized in mental health and relational wellness, and I just decided to split them, have a channel really just for the therapy and stuff like that, and then have this other one for relationships where we just talk anything and everything about relationships, and where I am completely vulnerable about my own relationships and stuff like that. And relationships, I'm really looking especially at intimate partner relationships. And why I even started this channel, I was looking at my relationship with Roy. I call him Roy. This was a guy I crushed on in primary school, so somebody I've kind of known for like 30 something years. And so when he said let's get intimate in 2019, I was really looking forward to it. I was thinking this was going to be my own fairy tale love story, and it didn't turn out to be that. And I don't think I'm the first person who is getting heartbroken from a childhood romance which didn't end up their prince charming kind of thing. And then it didn't just turn out like it didn't just work out, but I discovered along the way, like from the very beginning even, that Roy had a lot of narcissistic traits. So there was so much narcissism in that relationship. I don't know if it was ever diagnosed as being on the spectrum, but I, as a psychotherapist, I can really diagnose him to have NPD, narcissistic personality disorder. I wasn't with him long enough to know how grave it is, and I know that what they sometimes do is like they argue, they defend themselves, they say no, 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 no. And somebody can also tell me I have some traits, and I'm not going to deny. I think I have a little, but we all do, right? Because narcissism, as I explained yesterday, is this sense of self. It might, go a little overboard and stuff like that. You can just watch other videos in my channel or on YouTube. I'll try to be putting some links there, but I just usually just keep things real and just talk and stuff like that. And when it gets more interactive, I might become much more structured. Yesterday when I did that video, kind of like talking about it, the relationship and stuff, and there were a few comments because I first did it on Facebook live, but I've just decided to not be doing it on Facebook live anymore. I'll just do videos and upload them on my channel, and anybody who comes to the channel picks it up. That's fine. Sometimes some of these things, as you revisit them, they re-traumatize you, or they make you go through some roller coaster of emotions and stuff. And doing it live and people just interacting live was a bit too much for me. It was too much for me. So I decided now to just do it this way. It's easier for me to interact with people in YouTube comments than to have people join me live. Not many though, but I don't want that. So this is why I'm doing this one like this. I'll just do a video and upload. And I think for this channel, that's just what I'm going to be doing. So there were a few comments. One of the comments was that people with NPD traits, they don't know that they have an issue, and they don't want you to tell them that they have an issue, and then they're not willing to change. Well, they don't know, and even if they do, it's helping them. It is protecting that shield, that and they are the ones to get to a point where their life isn't working out at all. Relationships have crumbled and crumbled and crumbled, and they're like, what's wrong with me? And maybe other things too, but we are talking about relationships. I have a client, for example, who has had so many relationships which they themselves sabotaged, and they've just come to realize that I am the common denominator in this. Like, I also had to at one point say, why are my relationships, what's that pattern? And I realized I was the common denominator. But for a narcissist, they have to do that themselves. Whatever people are saying is like, oh, as long as they are they are satisfying themselves, they are having what they want, they are protecting that false self, and it's taking a whole lifetime, so there's no empathy. So it will be difficult for you to talk to them and then they get it. No, they have to get that shock themselves, like something really has to happen to them. One more, or they finally meet somebody who is secure in themselves and who kindly or politely tells them their bullshit and walks out on them. They are used to being the one to walk out on people, to discard people, to sabotage people, to traumatize people. And so either they meet another narcissist who is like higher level and trashes them out, or they meet a high empath like myself, who kinds of says, I won't take your bullshit. It's okay. I love you, but I'm not going to tolerate this. I'm not going to be a flying monkey. I'm not going to be a narcissistic supplier. Somebody who knows all of those things and who can take themselves out of their lives and emotionally detach and move on. And then they'll be like, so there's really something going on. And if I can't get this person, I don't think I'll be able to get another person. I feel so, it's like you've cracked them like a mirror, that somebody was holding on to and they knew nobody can crack them. And then you crack them, they can never be the same again. And so they can decide at that time to go for therapy, and they can decide to do what Dr. Ramani suggests, and they can, but nobody can force them. And sometimes they come to therapy also because, well, they just want you to think that they are changing, and then if you take them back and then they deal with you again well and proper. So whatever they do, please, for your own sanity, don't take them back. If they really, really, really want to change, let them change completely. Let some time pass and everything, and maybe one day, I haven't read of a story where somebody said, oh, the narc changed and then they came back and then we got back together and then I took them back and then he walked out happily ever after. I haven't, and I have watched a lot of videos. I've read a lot. I didn't stay with this guy for long, and I haven't taken him back. But a few times that we went kind of ghosting, and I took him back, maybe after 1 week, back to bad behavior, back to ignoring you, back to. So I'm like, we need to be careful. There's no way. And so I want to say that it's very difficult to think that you can change somebody, not to talk of a narcissist. It's like the game you are playing. They know the game. They know, they like it. They don't mind as much as they feel a little something sometime, like a little lonely, a little bored, a little whatever. But well, that's their life, and everybody makes their choices. Everybody lives the way they're living. It works for them that way. Their priority is not a relationship, not to talk about an intimate one, especially if it's also coupled with intimacy, avoidance, and all. There's always some comorbidity somewhere around there. So, seriously, for example, an anxious avoidant, they don't want you, or a fearful avoidant, a dismissive avoidant, they don't want intimacy anyway. So, that person they're in a relationship with, you are there for a different purpose. To their eyes, you are there for a different purpose, to run their errands, to have sex with. You can have sex with somebody and have no intimacy with that person. Sometimes people think sex is intimacy. For narcissists, sex is not intimacy. Sex is means to releasing their whatever, satisfying that sexual craving, fantasy, stuff like that. And so they can do anything with you, any style they want, whatever comes to their mind. They can sweet talk you into doing that. And then you think, oh my goodness, so much intimacy. Share. As soon as they are done, they're turning around. They're even leaving you alone on the bed and going to lie down somewhere. I was wondering, but why immediately after we have sex, they're just going to lie down, even in the parlor or the chair? That's like, no, you have to go. My brothers are coming. And it now makes sense to me. That's all they wanted. Poor me. Poor you. If you have been in such a relationship, poor you, who has been used and abused So why would you even want to change such a person? Why would you even want to be putting energy into such a relationship? Well, because I was hoping, and although fortunately we were not even in the same country and it didn't last for long and stuff, but I was hoping, especially, well, in my case, this is somebody I knew from primary school, so this is 3 decades and plus, maybe 3.5, 35 years, 36 years. So I'm really full of hope. Like, I just want this to be my last. I want this to be my best. I want this to be. So, it happens. You get into a relationship with somebody, they can sweet talk, they can love bomb, all of that. And so you are hoping. And so even when you start to see those signs, well, you start to make excuses, you start to try to rationalize, you start to want to believe all the excuses they're giving you, you start to doubt yourself, you start to second guess, third guess, fourth guess yourself. And then, of course, people around you are saying, hey, that thing is not, you're like, they're jealous of me, or maybe they don't want me to progress. Well, they have their own relationships, let me have mine. After all, no relationship is perfect. So you're making all of those excuses. And what they also do is they start to feed you with more reason to doubt. All those people tell you that, they're so emotional. Do you need to be so emotional? Do you need to be that crowded? One thing Roy did in the very beginning, and which was supposed to be a very big red flag for me, and it was for me, but because I'm a fighter, I fought that, but I didn't let go of the relationship immediately. He told me, what are you doing on Facebook? What are you doing all over social media like that? Do you need all of that validation? That is it. He was projecting his own need on me. I'm not on social media for validation. It's a platform for me to fulfill my purpose on earth, to do what I have to do, and of course also to interact with people, But for them, it was like they were once very active on social media as a pastor, but their own doctrine was so contrary to, and they lost their followership very fast. They could boast about that era to me and tell me, oh, they had 5,000 followers, but somewhere along the line, I think either they got disillusioned or people left them. Narcs will not tell you the true story. It would always be like people became jealous of me. I was so prominent and blah, 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 blah. And then when they left me because a new person came and took my followers away, or I was telling them the truth and they didn't want the truth, and so they left and stuff. But I didn't know them at that time, so I never followed any of those their pages. I didn't know all of those things, and after a while I realized that even their main wall or whatever, either they put it down or they blocked me from it, and I never tried to get back onto it. But you see, that's how they can manipulate things. That's how they play around. And then when they were not able to get me off social media, the next thing was, WhatsApp is still social media, but the main social media I was talking about is Facebook. But now on WhatsApp, it's like, well, block me. Now, I'm even the one who blocked them on WhatsApp. I'm like, if you block me on Facebook, what's the point staying, having access to me on WhatsApp? Let's stay on email. Right, so I blocked them on WhatsApp, but it's still the very me who unblocked them one other time when they had kind of love bombed me again through email after I had kind of like told them off, So the relationship is toxic. Like, you keep falling in and falling out and falling in and falling out. That's not how a healthy relationship should be. And then whenever you people want to talk about something, it's arguments, flaring up, and then it's the way they want. If they want phone call, it's going to be a phone call. If they want voice notes, it's going to be voice notes. If they want emails, it's going to be emails. Since he didn't want any trace, he didn't do voice notes. He would either do phone call, rarely, or send those emails. I still record. I used to just wonder when you be telling me those things. I don't want my voice notes after you're going to be spreading my voice notes the whole place. I don't want a picture with you after you're going to be putting it all over the place. Once I even record them saying, I don't want you I don't want a video with you. Soon you're going to put it all over social media. It was all about them, their image, their this. And I was respecting that because anyway, to each their own. Me, I don't mind if my picture is put all over. I put it there myself, but For a man, if you're going out with a woman and then you don't want your picture to be seen, it's like, why are you hiding? Are you ashamed of the relationship? And what? But you want me to send you pictures, compromising pictures, for example. I said no from the very beginning. No, I don't do that. I don't take nudes. I'm not sending my nudes. I'm not going to sex text with you. Though he was like, oh, you don't trust me. I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry, I don't trust you, and stuff like that. And you're going to come. So what's the whole point of all of these things? But just imagine if I had done that. That's going to be his tool. Like, okay, good. I now have your videos. You remember? I have this. I can use that against you. So how do you change such a person? How? Frankly speaking, that's why I really think that this whole thing of run is the best way out. And so, well, I'm going to also look at maybe tomorrow how such a person can change if they want to. But for today, I just wanted to do a video to say, I don't think such a person, you can change such a person. I didn't try with Roy. I was hoping that I could show him by my own attitude how to relate with me, but he was not interested in how to relate with me. He was interested in having me relate with him the way he wants and needs and be a good narcissistic supply for him. And when I realized that, I told him, you are not my God. Get the hell out of my life. And although we spoke one last time before he left this country, he himself knew that as he was stepping out of this office, that was the last time we were going to have anything to do together. And I told him, remember, you are not my God. So don't try to change a knack. It's just so draining. And then tell them they are not your God. Either face to face or send them that line that would help you to emotionally detach from them, because that's where the biggest pain is. That's where the biggest wound is, the emotional investment. And then, well, if you want to fight them, you have that energy to fight them, also fight them. But as far as I'm concerned, you can't change them, seriously. And then why you put all that energy in changing somebody who might not even be thinking about you that much, love you? I don't think that's a word in your vocabulary. Roy didn't use that word with me. Maybe he used it like once or twice just to, get me to run some errand and do something for him, or just come around and have sex. But to say love, like get up in the morning and how are you? How did you sleep? What's going on with your day? Those became so far-fetched for me. I've maybe even picked up some of those tendencies. Oh my goodness. So we'll be looking at that. I think I really want to process this whole thing for some time before I get into my current relationship. And well, we'll just see how it goes, right? We are all on a journey, right? So we mustn't have it 100% right, but let's just give it our best. Okay, so I'm yours, Mag, and until the next video, I don't know when that will be. Maybe over the weekend or something like that. Maybe even tomorrow. God bless us all.